basic division which is called the mitosis. As you know, the cell cycle of the eukaryotes is made of a long phase called interphase, and this phase is divided into 3 phases. These 3 phases are G1, cross 1 or gap 1, and this G1 with the cell grow to the maximum size. And you have also the S phase or the replication of the DNA, and you have the G2 phase, which is the cell prepare itself to the cell division. Then it spends the cell cycle in the cell division, so you have only a short time to make the cell division. And as we said, in the cell division, it is divided, it's called the M phase. M phase. This M phase is divided into 2 parts. The mitosis which is the dividing, the copying of the chromosomes and making a 2 complete set of chromosomes. And after the chromosomes are duplicated and they are divided for the new cells, you have in the M phase the cytokinesis. Cytokinesis, which means the splitting of the cytoplasm. So in the cytokinesis, this cell will become 2 new individual cells. So you will have from 1 cell a 2 cell. So at the cytokinesis, after the mitosis takes place, what happens is that the cell will divide into 2 cells, and these 2 cells are the new cells which are produced. So the mitosis, we will take the M phase and we will speak about all the phases. In the mitosis, is divided into 4 main phases. So it starts with number 1, the brew phase. So the first phase is called the brew phase, which means the starting phase. In the brew phase, there is important processes, events takes place. What happens in the brew phase? You have number 1, the chromosomes will start to condense and appear. So chromosomes condenses. So they appear, so the chromosomes appear. This is the first event in the prophase. In the prophase, the second event, the nucleus of the cell will disappear. So if we have a cell like this here, so in the mitosis, you will find the chromosomes appearing as a duplicated chromosomes. So the chromosomes begin or start to appear, and the nuclear envelope or the cover of the nucleus, the nuclear membrane, will begin to dissolve. So this is the second event, nuclear envelope disappear. So this nuclear envelope, this nucleus will disappear. And in the animal cell there is centrioles. We have two bodies called centrioles in the animal cells, only in animal cells. They are not in the plant cells. What the centrioles do, the centrioles produce what we call the spindle fiber, or the spindle formation. So there is two centrioles, each one is in one of the two poles of the cell, and each one of them produce the spindle fibers. This spindle fiber attached to the chromosomes. They will be attached to the chromosomes. So the third event takes place here is the forming of spindle. So they are like ropes. This spindle is like ropes, and these ropes, they are attached to the chromosome to move them inside the cell. At this end, the prophase. So the prophase end by these three events. After that, we move to the second phase, which is called the number 2, metaphase. So in the metaphase, what happens is that it's a one event. All chromosomes line up in the middle or the equator of the cell. So all chromosomes line up in the equator of the cell. So our cell here, this is how it will appear in the metaphase if you have the cell, and you have the centrioles in the two poles, opposite poles of the cell, and they produce the spindle fibers. So in the metaphase, all the chromosomes will line up in the center of the cell or the equator of the cell, and the spindle fiber moves these chromosomes from the centromere. So all the chromosomes line up in what we call the metaphase plate, or the equator of the cell. So this is called a metaphase plate. So they line up in the center of the cell. Then then this finishes the metaphase, and you go to the second phase, which is called the Anaphase. So the third phase of mitosis is called Anaphase. What is the Anaphase? The Anaphase means the splitting of chromosomes. So it's one event also, which is called the splitting of sister chromatids So the sister chromatids will be split into two. Each one will move to one opposite of the cell. So if we have the cell like this here, so the cell will appear in the anaphase. So this is the centrioles of the cell, and the spindle fibers will attach, which is attached to the sister chromatids, will become short, and they pull each sister chromatid to one pool of the cell. So now we have here the sister chromatids, which is separated from each other. As you can see here in the metaphase, they are attached at the centromere. Now the chromosomes will split from each other by the shortening of the spindle, and they will move to one pool. Each set will move to one pool. So those are the sister chromatids. So this is the anaphase. The fourth phase at the end of this process, or the mitosis, is called telophase. So the fourth is called telophase. In telophase, all what happens in the prophase is reversed. So you have in the prophase the chromosomes condenses. So here the chromosomes decondensed, it decoiled. So you have the first event in the telophase, which is opposite to the prophase. So chromosomes condenses, here chromosomes in the telophase decondensed. So they begin to discoil. So this is the first one. The second is the nuclear envelope in the prophase disappear. In the telophase, the nuclear envelope appears again, or reform. Reform. Then the third one, forming of a spindle, so disappearing of spindle. So the cell will be like this in the telophase. A cleavage furrow begin to be made. So the deeping in the cell membrane of the cell, pinching in, is called the cleavage furrow. So the formation of the cleavage furrow and the disappearing of the chromosomes. So what we will have is the nucleus, nuclear envelope, and the DNA, which is decondensed inside the two nucleus. So this is the telophase. After the telophase finish, cytokinesis complete the process, and it split the cytoplasm of the cell into two cells. So you will have, after the mitosis, two cells with the same DNA component, copies of each other. This is what we call the mitosis, and this takes place in the eukaryotes. So this is a quick revision, and as we said, cytokinesis is splitting of cytoplasm. Thank you, and see you next time, inshallah. Thank you.